Yes, it is. Setting up, and
Excellent.
redirected. All right, here we go. All right, we are locked in. 344 subscribers. Cannot watch this myself because that will be annoying if I hear myself on a delay.
Joe, you tell me we got 344 people listening? Getting ready to listen?
Subscribers to the channel.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Hoping to hit 400 by the end of the season. That's kind of a goal for me.
Prestige worldwide.
That's right.
Internationally known.
Yeah.
Locally recognized.
Yeah. One second. All right. Let's do it. What is up? We are back. We're freaking back. Going live on YouTube. Everybody listening on the podcast, you might want to check us out on YouTube and join in the fun. We will be reading your comments and questions on the air tonight. We're going to go till at least 9 p.m. We always go over that. And then I have to hear about it from my wife the next day. Why are you up so fucking late? You know, I'm doing that podcast shit. Is that making you any money? But who cares? It's all in the name of Ohio State football, right? That's how we justify things. Got Jeff and Sean with me. Boys, how are we enjoying the victory over Wisconsin?
About what I expected.
Oh, okay. A sunny side up guy today.
That's right.
I was really frustrated at one point watching that game. At probably 8 minutes left, I stopped watching, I think. Only because I got really aggravated with Wisconsin running their first team defense or first team offense and getting that long run from Braylon Allen against our fucking freshman. And I got frustrated and I turned it off. But no, I mean, great game. 50, what do you complain about? 52-31 or 52-21?
You can find something.
I was complaining a little bit on the text messages during the game, but overall, 30-point win. How can you argue really with the results of the 30-point win? So, well done.
Supposed to be one of the best teams best teams in the Big Ten, the best one allegedly in the West, and I'm not so sure that's the case anymore.
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I don't see them as a very good team, to be honest.
They still might be the second best in the West, but the West is god awful. Sans Minnesota.
Yeah, that's more of an indictment on the West than it is a compliment to them for sure. If they're the second best in the West is
Illinois actually might be the second best in the West.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I think the Gophers are, we'll get into the kind of national scene and the Big Ten conference scene because, there's a lot going on there. But, just wanted to get your guys' quick takeaway. But before we get started with that, just want to remind everybody, this is your only commercial-free Ohio State podcast. Please give us a rating and review, leave some comments on the video, subscribe. It always helps us, helps other Buckeye fans find us. And you can always find the press conferences, player interviews, and the coup de grace, your daily Buckeye Blitz, 5 minutes of Buckeye content every morning. Check it out. It's on YouTube and in podcast form, so you can find it everywhere, even Facebook. And we want to thank everybody who have supported the show thus far and keep supporting us. We're about to launch our subscription service. That's coming in the next week. and we just have to iron out some details there. But we're going to offer insider info texting to all the subscribers, and we're going to offer a weekly call-in show and free shirts from the buckeyecast.com, and then discounts for all members on the shop. So anyways, let's get into, give me like, all right, here's a good question for you. Was this, Sean, a complete game yet? I think we haven't answered yes unanimously to this question yet this year. Sean, was this a complete game by the Ohio State Buckeyes?
For the most part, I would say yes. It was complete up to the point that it had to be. They scored some garbage time touchdowns late, but no, it was a handling right from the start, and there was nothing they could do about it. And CJ was even a little bit off. I think he could have played better. I think he missed a few throws there, had a bad quarter. Set a couple guys up for taking some hard hits there. Didn't love that. Some of that ball placement was just a little bit off for CJ Stroud, but pretty close to a complete game. In my view, I mean,
So like a 90%, 95%, something.
Yeah. Could we play better? Yeah. There's a couple things to clean up, but
yeah, hard to nitpick a guy that threw 5 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. I mean,
yeah, Jeff, what do you think? How close was this to a perfect game?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 85%. But the production's there. It was Stroud 17 to 27 That's above average. It's good, but 63, but it's below his.
Not to his
below his standard. Below his standard.
Yeah.
His average. But yeah, the 5 touchdowns, the 1 pick. The pick was a bad. He knew it as soon as he threw it. It was a bad pass. Just and as much as we throw the ball, and as much as he challenges those tight window throws, a pick here, pick there. Nobody should be getting upset or tied up.
It was garbage time. It meant nothing. But I mean, not garbage time, but it was at the end of the half there, and they got nothing off it. They probably shouldn't have got, like I think Dave even said, probably got a little greedy there and shouldn't have done that. But also props to that dude that caught it. It was a nice catch, man.
It was a good play around the sideline, little toe tap
towards you.
Yeah. But no, if you go offense, special teams, and defense, I can't say it was a complete, and utter domination by Ohio State. We're getting the domination type scores, but it's not. The play is not there. I don't know. We're missing something. It seems like we're missing something on defense. I don't know off the top of my head. I can't remember a sack off the top of my head. Did we get 1 or 2?
Got
maybe?
1.
They got 1, but it didn't seem like a lot of pressure. I mean, there's pressure in spurts, but I watched certain players for a series stretch, just focusing on one player, and some of our bigger name guys look like they, it may have been the series they took off, and they were just going through the motions out there. I saw some of that, but I was zeroing in on one guy. So,
okay,
I
think this team, Wisconsin, is completely limited by their quarterback.
They had no shot. I think it was clear that Wisconsin had no shot of competing on a level with us from the jump.
Our top 3 corners were out. Lathan Ransom was out. He's one of our best cover safeties. So they didn't take advantage of it. They didn't even try to take advantage of it.
No,
they didn't even run to the edges where they could take advantage of it in the run game.
I saw one jet sweep, and that was the most pressure I saw them put to the edge. And of
because
course,
Tommy won't let you get there.
I know. He made a great play. He was inside out pursuit, just like you're taught, forcing them, stretching them out, and they got like a 2-yard gain maybe. I think maybe the guy ended up diving forward whereas in the past, we've gotten torched by that, that quick reverse or end around.
Yeah, they were missing their 2 tackles though. Those guys were out. So
yeah, they had a secondary guy out too, right? Didn't I hear? I think
probably
maybe
yeah,
I think
their secondary was pretty limited anyways, if it was at full strength. So
right.
That would have been the place to attack. Yeah, like I mentioned, 3 corners out. Denzel, Cam. Denzel had a fucking club on his hand. So and then Jordan Hancock, they're finally
still out.
Letting on, like last week, Day let on that this was a serious injury and he hasn't been able to practice in a while. So it's like, well, obviously, if he can't practice, he's not even going to be a game time decision.
Yeah, I mean, he has, meaning like he hasn't practiced yet. You know,
when did they
like
when did they know these 2 were starting? Because they didn't, none of us knew till basically game time.
I stopped looking at the availability report because it's a crock of shit.
It is, right.
It's darts at a dartboard,
And that was the frustration that I was texting you guys during the game. Like, if let the public or the wanting to know public or the insiders, the media, whoever, however you want to, let them know just a little bit, the general. So you don't have like these rampant fucking, people just assuming shit. Like, we know why would we assume that we know why those guys aren't playing?
Well, I think
or what the injuries are, or what how serious it is. Yeah, Jordan Hancock, I thought it was a fucking like a calf strain or a hamstring issue that he was just kind of, we want to make sure he's healthy before we put him out there. He's young.
I don't think he practiced much at all in fall camp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't now, but it seems like maybe he hasn't been practicing yet. Right. Like since we've been season started. So that's my frustration. Just not knowing. I understand not giving details about injuries. I totally get it. And if they just want to do it like this, they can, obviously. But it's just frustrating for us because, like, I'm texting you guys. I'm like, did you guys where I thought I missed something? Why are three corners not playing the game? And then Lathan Ransom.
Even the guys on the beat don't know this shit until like Denzel comes out with a club on his hand. Burke has the club on his hand. Cam Brown was on. I think he was labeled as unavailable on the report, but part of the bigger like long-term thing, I think now that gambling's getting legalized in almost every state, I think this is going to become either a conference issue or an NCAA rule like the NFL, where they have to release an injury report better than this garbage availability report,
available, not available. What the fuck does that mean, man?
Right.
Exactly. I think you're right, Joe. It makes total sense because the NFL, you can't, teams get fined if you fucking try to doctor that injury report or don't report stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the NFL catches you in violation of it, they get hit. It's a penalty.
Right. Because if somebody, low ranking trainer in a team releases like secret information to a couple people, and those people go and bet according to that information, you're looking at a big scandal,
no
matter what level, college, pro, whatever. So that's why the NFL has that rule. And I think now that gambling legalization is spreading across the country, I think at some point you got to make this a blanket, rule.
And I think you're right, because the state laws are all different, and you can, it may have to be, you say a conference rule, but state laws are state laws as far as the gambling. So I don't know if it. I don't know who takes kind of precedent on that. With the state of Ohio, like January 1st, state of Ohio is going to be open for sports betting, but Florida here isn't still.
It's already legal here.
Right.
Okay.
It's different in every state. So I think as things change,
would they go with the conference rule, or is it an NCAA rule to encompass all of I don't know if the state can overrule Well, the state, I mean, the only people that can overrule a state is federal. I can't imagine a conference can. I don't know. I don't know how that
We
works.
litigate that right now. Let's talk Buckeye offense here. Like we said, CJ was 17 of 27, 63% completion percentage, 281, 5 touchdowns. The pick that sailed on him over Marvin Harrison's head. JSN was out. Emeka continues to make plays, big plays. Fleming playing physical is a lovely sight to see. Marvin doing Marvin things, and Cade Stover. Wow.
Fuck yes, I love it. I love seeing him. I love seeing him with the ball rumbling down the field, with nobody around him. I think he's gonna be open all year. I mean, they're gonna, as long as Fleming and Beck, like Buka and Harrison or Jason are all putting the pressure on the defense. I think Cade Stover, he could have this 4 for 51, 2 touchdowns, but he could have 4 or 5 catches a game, 50, 60 yards, maybe a touchdown, maybe not. But I mean, he could put together one of the best tight end seasons that we've seen in a long time in Ohio State history.
Yeah.
Just by the simple fact that he'll always be open.
Yeah.
Be nice to see.
Sean, what do you think about those wide receivers and some of the production coming out of that room the last few weeks without JSN around?
I mean, that whole group right there, that is just rock solid. And then throw JSN back in there. And I mean, that's ridiculous. My only concern is I can't remember the last Buckeye game where I only saw 4 people on the receiving list for a football game.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to mention it too. There's only
and
4
one's
guys
a tight end.
To a running back, nothing to a Saunders late in what was a blowout. It was 45-7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it was just the starters. So you our 3 receivers and our tight end. Just the starters caught passes.
There wasn't a huge rotation of receivers. They were
much
pretty
tighter.
tight.
Much tighter this game.
And you notice the offense, the starters were in well into the fourth quarter, like past the 7-minute mark.
I wanted them to finish the game. I wanted to fucking do this. I wanted to keep running our offense. If they were going to keep running theirs, we should have stayed in and just kept running ours. Not that bullshit. Let's just run 3 times and punt, kill the clock with Kyle McCord. Fuck that. Which I that's what I got frustrated about too. Wisconsin was doing it. I wanted us to stay on. Keep them in the whole game.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about it at that point. Go ahead. You want to do that? Get your fake stats. That's fine.
I'm just only in response to Wisconsin. Only because when I saw Braylon Allen's touchdown, I'm like, that's horse shit. We got, they're all of them are freshmen on the field, almost. I was like, man, all right. We blew out a bunch of teams when I played, and then they would keep their varsity, their top guys in to try to score on us after we were up 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. That takes me the wrong way. If you want us to lay off and be professional, or and be good sports, you're gonna take advantage of our backups, man. Fuck you. That frustrated me. I wanted our guys to stay in and put it on them.
The backups, the only couple of receiver backups that got in, Ballard only had 10 snaps to compare to like Julian Fleming at 57. Harrison had 59, Emeka 59. The other backups, Caleb Brown had 9. Xavier Johnson 10. So they weren't. And these were mostly running plays. Those backups were in on running downs, or running plays. So that probably was later in the game. So, like I said, there was not much of a rotation in that receiver room. But I was surprised. I don't think I would put money on this. I don't think Travion has caught a pass out of the backfield yet this year. Mayan has. Mayan's caught a screen, he's had a jet sweep.
the big catch against Notre Dame on the sideline.
Right. He had
That was a
that,
big
but
touchdown.
Trey has not had a catch out of the backfield, right, or at all, which is kind of surprising because that was his forte last year.
He did some of that last year, right?
His first play of his career against Minnesota.
Yeah,
was
like
that 70?
70? Yeah, that little swing pass. I told you guys, I thought Trey doesn't look 100%. He does not look like last year's Trey or a healthy Trey.
I think he looks fine now. He had like double the snaps in this game. He had 21, I believe.
21 carries.
21. Yeah. He had 21 for 121. Mayan had 11 for 101 and the 2 touchdowns. Mayan actually had the longest run of the day at 25 yards. Mitch Rossi had the 1 carry for 3 on that big first down. Dallin Hayden got in with 8 carries and 31 yards. So what do you guys think about 2 backs going over 100 yards? That hasn't happened in a long time.
I'm surprised.
Mayan is running hard, man. I mean,
that's what he does.
It's Travion's doing fine, but Mayan's doing just as well. That's or better in certain instances so far this year. But I think that's what you're seeing out there, Jeff. But I'm with you. I'm just waiting for Travion to make a jump cut and then 60 yards for a touchdown type of deal. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah, it looked like there was a couple times, he hit the second level, make a cut, and you think like, oh, there's a lane. Can hit it? Can you hit it?
I think I know the same play that you're thinking of. It's like, why did he do that?
He almost like he saw it and he's like, oh, I don't think I can make it, and then he changed up. Like it's just, I don't know. There's just a couple of plays that look like something's not like he doesn't have that. Oh, there it is, boom, and they go. That is instantly as soon as you see it, that take off through the hole. It just it seems, I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It just seemed like his explosiveness is not 100%, in my opinion.
Okay. What about that O-line? I think the O-line dominated this game. I think they set the tone from the first snap. Some of those lanes they were opening up for the running backs were just fucking 6-lane highways, man. It was insane. Donovan Jackson had this quote after the game. He said, "It's gratifying to move a man from point A to point B."
And where's point B, Donovan? Where the fuck I want it to be? Where do I want to put it? Shots. Yeah, offensive line did look great. No complaints there. No stupid penalties that put us in 2nd and long, 3rd and long. Not those false starts, the holdings, the lackadaisical holding calls. Were none of that. So it looks like we've gotten that penalty issue kind of corrected. Last couple of games have been pretty clean there, so that's good to see as well. Offensive line I thought looked great. I thought Mayan missed a couple big gaps where. It's easy to see on TV, like, oh, I would have cut there. I'm not saying that, but it's like
But they had so many big runs, dude. So many big runs. Like I'm talking 7 to 10 yards plus. Like, I mean, look at their averages. Travion was 5.8, which is like mediocre compared to Mayan's 9.2. I mean, it seemed like first and second down when they're running, it's just fucking cavernous. It's like wide ass open, man.
Well, I mean, you gotta like the game. I know Urban Meyer would look at that stat sheet and be like, all right, we ran for 250 through 270 or 280. That's perfect. 27 pass attempts, right. 30. What we're looking at, 35 maybe carries, 40 carries on offense, rushing. That's more of a Urban Meyer, JT Barrett type stat line if you're just looking at it. Just looking at stats. Obviously, the makeup of the team is very different, but great balance. And the more weeks we can pile on this balance of showing that strong running game, it's only helping our pass offense down the road, I think. Keep stacking all these games where people people are constantly seeing, oh shit, two backs over 100. They had 21 carries. This guy got 11, 12 carries, and we're dominating them, and they're showing huge production. People are gonna have to defenses are gonna have to gamble, bringing that other guy close, hoping that man-to-man coverage will hold up on the outside, and that's just a game of death. To just man up on all of our dudes on the outside too. So yeah, very, very, very important that we keep this running game showing that that average of, I don't know, what is that? I'm looking at everybody's averages. What does that come out to? Probably 7 yards a carry, 6 yards a carry total. We averaged.
Yeah.
And, if you average 6 yards a carry, shit, you run as much as you want.
It's more
much
like
as needed. 7.5. Okay. As much as you want, or as much as whenever or whenever you want.
Right. So defense gets another turnover. Tanner McAllister, with the first drive of Wisconsin's night, gets the interception, returns it deep into the red zone, and Buckeyes, that sets up another touchdown. And from there, it was off to the races. And before you knew it, it was 21-0 in the first quarter. And the defense really, really played well. Had the one sack. I believe it was Jack Sawyer. I've seen, I think PFF mistakenly credited Tommy Eichenberg with that one, but Eichenberg
White
leading
guys,
the way.
33, 35. Yeah.
Right. Eichenberg leading the way.
It was Sawyer.
Yeah. With 11 tackles. Josh Proctor was 6. Proctor played pretty much every defensive snap. I thought that was interesting. Who got more playing time at safety? You had Ronnie Hickman with 54 snaps, Eichenberg 53, Proctor 53, Jair Brown, the corner, 52, J.K. Johnson, the other corner, at 51, Steel Chambers 48. So, yeah, spread it. You know who your studs are when you look at those snap counts, right? These are guys that are going to be on the field every freaking down. And Eichenberg had a hell of a game.
Oh my gosh, it was out of this mind. And it was finally nice to see Proctor looking like his old self. Nice game by him.
Yep.
Yeah. Eichenberg is stacking great games now.
Yeah,
he's not just flashing. He's stacking consistent performances game after game. Great to see. It's maybe what everybody talked about, like flashed in the Rose Bowl. Maybe that was like a key opening the door, like it unlocks something, and now he's playing. I don't know. Maybe it's a scheme. I don't know what it is, but yeah, he does look like a different player this year versus last year. But that's natural too. The guys, improve that much, and they understand what they're doing. They're not guessing out there. They're just reacting. And it's showing with him. Eichenberg, he's putting together
some of the best Buckeye linebacker play in a long time.
Yeah, just solid,
consistent too, and
not the big plays, not the strip sacks, the picks for 6 like AJ Hawk used to do. AJ was great he made so many big plays, but Eichenberg is just I'll fucking tackle you every time. Come here, tackling you here. You go there, I'll tackle you there. Just that solid, just what we need from our inside linebacker. Just tackling everything that fucking comes at you.
Yeah. So looking at missed tackles, this is going to be my bugaboo for the rest of the season. And we're averaging about 10 a game. To hit double figures in that is not good. We had 8 this week. Steel Chambers continuously leading the charge in the falling on my face, sliding down the stripper pole, missed tackles. Tron Vincent had a couple. Eichenberg had one, but I'll let his go. It's kind of a frustration thing because you got to get dudes on the ground, especially good running backs. Targets. Jair Brown. Look at this guy. 5 targets, only 2 receptions. J.K. Johnson, 4 targets, 2 receptions. Tanner McAllister, 4 targets, 2 receptions. Those were your starting 3 corners. I don't think Cam Martinez played it. Oh, he did play. He had 3 snaps. I'm sure that was late.
They got him credited with a half a tackle I saw, but I don't remember seeing that half tackle.
Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, these freshmen and the redshirt freshman corners really fucking stood up and did a hell of a job in kind of, I don't know, I would call it unplanned starts. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, just again, I wonder when they knew they were going to be starting. Were they going to be the starters all week long, or was it? I don't know. So, but what they did, yeah, I mean, could you would think that Wisconsin with a three-year starting 5-star quarterback and a running game allegedly would be able to have some success against a bunch of guys that haven't played college football yet.
Right.
But no, they couldn't take advantage of it. Would they have passing 100 yards?
Just under 94.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of those, Braylon Allen had 10. He also had 10 yards, so 104.
Yeah. So our pass defense.
Graham Mertz was 11 of 20. That's just over 50% for you and me.
Yeah.
I think that Wildcat shit should have continued that. That Wildcat shit was working down in the red zone.
Well, one thing they definitely definitely never tried to. All right, we got to get some. We're down 3-4 scores right now. We got to open it up. Kind of like how Michigan State last year, where we just got on them quick, and they were like, "Well, fuck now. All right, we can't run it now because all right, let's dish that. Let's try to pass it." Wisconsin's like, "No, we're gonna keep running it," and so then the score just kept getting bigger and bigger. But they didn't deviate from their plan. They knew they knew they had no shot if they were trying to open it up and sling the ball around. Like they didn't even attempt it. I'm looking at their receiving. One guy had 4 catches, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for 2 yards, for 3 yards, 3 catches for 6 yards, 1 catch for 9, 1 for 10, 1 for 10.
Right.
They were not going to deviate from their plan, no matter how many fucking points we got up on them.
And
so they really had,
no matter how many freshman DBs we had in there.
Right. And looking at the matchups, like, hey, they got a bunch of young kids out there. Let's try to exploit them. Let's test them at least. Let's find out if they are ready. They didn't even, like you said. I was listening to you talk about the targets on our corners. Brand new, true freshman corners. They're only getting the ball thrown at them 3-4 times a game. Like I don't care what kind of freshman you are. Especially if I'm losing by several touchdowns. Yeah, let's try that 18-year-old out there. Let's see if we can get a play on it. Let's see if we can get him on a double move or something.
Right.
But no, Wisconsin's like they wanted to stick out the run, and it bears 31-point loss.
Do you think with your 2 tackles being down that you might consider going to the quarterback for moving the ball? But like I said at the top, they're limited by what Graham Mertz can do. They have no plan B. There's no plan B on that team. And
their highest rated, how many times have I heard this from especially other Big Ten people or Wisconsin people, especially the highest rated quarterback in Wisconsin history. Yeah, you've had a lot better teams though, with a lot of better running backs and shit quarterbacks. But you played it. You had 2 pros in your offensive line. You had a pro at tailback, and you had a tight end that was probably a pro. You don't need your highest rated recruit playing quarterback because what's he doing for him? Like you said, Joe, 11 for 20.
Well, he just never turned into that guy. I mean, if he was,
he's not the dude. He's not their answer. But they bought it. They bought it. They got him, recruited him to sling it. They were trying to. It seemed like he's a slinger. Like they wanted to change their offense. Yeah. We got some comments coming in from the viewers on YouTube. Let me read these off real quick.
no questions yet. But my guy Tyrone Smith, good to see Julian Fleming playing. We agree, and we gave him some props.
Oh yeah.
Being physical, getting that catch down by the goal line and muscling his way in, knocking dudes over. Stephen Cherry, shout out to Tim Walton, having our young DBs ready to compete. Great point.
True
that.
Yeah. And Tyrone Smith also said Browns, Bengals, and Ohio State win, and the Cleveland Guardians are Central Division champs. All is well in Ohio.
It's definitely a good time to listen to 97.1 in the mornings. It's definitely a better time. They got a
continuing
lot
the mantra, Ohio against the world, right? Carry the banner.
Strong.
Yeah, and Stephen Cherry coming back. Cade Stover is what this Buckeye squad is all about. Tough as nails and gritty.
True. That's how else do you explain him? The dude he loves to do football.
I know, and I love to see him do football.
Yes, I love seeing him do football.
A focal point of our offense.
Well, you think Rucker is calling him up and asking what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Where was this shit last year? But yeah. So yeah, I think that pretty much seals up the Wisconsin game other than our score predictions. Jeff, you had 38-19. Sean, you had 38-24. I had 45-20. I guess I'll take the dub on this week. More of the same. Picking up off last year.
Didn't you have a call in or a write in prediction too?
Cassie.
Oh yeah.
Cassie predicted the score.
Yeah. Shit. I have to go back to the tape.
Cassie, if you're listening, send us back what your score was.
Yeah, I think they were right in line with me, like a 45-17 kind of score.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Microscopes, I had Mayan and Tommy. Seems like I came out on top there.
Oof.
Sean had JSN and Sonny Styles. Because Sonny did have one penalty.
Oh yeah, he had a nice 15-yard personal foul.
Yeah, Jeff, you had Trey and Cam.
Yeah, I want to see Trey finish the game. He did finish the game healthy. So
well, you didn't even see Cam start the game.
I am right, exactly. Of course, because how would I know that he was going to be sitting out? Mm-hmm. You were talking earlier, like when did
you have your Nevada Nuggets in order?
When do you think those younger players, younger corners knew they were going to be, thrust into that starting role or a lot of playing time? Well, Denzel with his hand wrapped, that tells me they probably knew that for a while. I don't know when that would have happened. Probably in practice, I would guess, because we never saw anything like that during the game. But right. They at least had a day or two.
Well, on Wednesday,
I would imagine.
On Wednesday night, the reporters were showing up at the Woody for the player interviews after practice, and Denzel was walking in at the same time those reporters were showing up, and he didn't have anything injury related on, like a boot or a wrap or a fucking a big club on his hand. So he walked in Wednesday night to the Woody after practice was over. So he did not practice, obviously, and did not have a hand wrap. So whatever that means, I don't know. Maybe they just wrapped it the day of the game to protect him for whatever reason, just in case he had.
Okay.
That's why they would do that. Put it in a bubble.
I mean, Tuesday and Wednesday are their other days where they go full contact. Probably, those are their contact days. After Wednesday's practice, Thursday you're maybe in shells. I'm guessing Friday they're just in like jerseys and helmets.
Fridays are the best Fridays in football. They don't even put anything on. They just play that football trash can game.
Right. Okay. Well, so there obviously wasn't a lot of contact. I mean, after Wednesday. So if the guys are reporting that they didn't see any type of ailment or any type of cast or anything to him on Wednesday, then I don't know. Maybe somebody should ask, coach on Tuesday, hey, when did you guys knew Denzel wasn't going to be able to play?
Yeah,
I'd like to hear that answer.
I got some breaking news to us apparently. Cassie Gray dropping in a couple messages here. They had the score at 49-17.
Oh,
and so
look at that.
The dub for Cassie.
Winner.
And then Denzel broke a bone in his hand and had surgery. It was a pain management issue, according to the podcast on Saturday.
Huh.
So
okay.
That the podcast is Austin Ward and Berm and Bill Landis, the new Rivals crew. Right,
and I would take their inside information as pretty much gospel. I mean, I would say
Tyrone Smith. My guy Tyrone Smith here has a question for us. Is Mayan Williams a starting running back in the NFL on Sundays in the future?
No.
What do you think?
No.
No? What do you think, Sean?
He could be, not yet. But
what's holding him back? Size?
I don't know. He needs to put more tape out there, I think.
Well, he's got another season he can come back for.
Acceleration, explosiveness. I think when they test out
and running how he runs and as hard as he runs, now you're running against NFL linebackers. He's a little bowling ball, but he ain't that big.
Yeah. Do I think he can play in the league? Yes. I mean, but if the question is, can he be a solid number one running back, 20 to 25 carries a game type, guy? No, I don't think so.
What do you think? Do you think he needs to put on more muscle? Because he's not going to grow, vertically. Obviously he's 5'9".
I think, Joe, I in my opinion, just my eyes watching him, I think it's more explosive. The not next level explosiveness or flat out speed. That to blow through a hole, that one cut and go explosion. I don't think he has, because those holes are so small in the NFL. You don't have disadvantages of your offensive line overly dominant over a defensive line necessarily. Mm-hmm. I think those holes are so tight and so small. I don't think he has the explosion. Yeah.
That's what he said, right?
That's what he hopes
Unless
for.
He's
I don't. Yeah, I think his size is good. Yeah, he's what
again
5'9". I can't get out of this hole.
Yeah.
5'10", 225 roughly is his build. He's ripped as fuck. I mean, he's thick. I'm not concerned about his size. I think it's just a matter of he might be a 5 to 10 carry guy, goal line work, stuff like that. Right. Maybe get it all, occasional work, but he's not an every down dominant running back. Yeah.
I got Steven Cherry jumping in here with his score prediction already for the Rutgers game, so maybe we better give that a couple minutes. I think we buried the Wisconsin game. Rutgers coming in. It's a 3:30 game on BTN this coming Saturday. Schiano, we know him very well. He went 5-8 last year. He's 3-1 so far. Just lost this week to Iowa, 27-10. Their quarterback loves to give the ball up to the defense, and I mean loves it. He had a couple picks. They had a fumble. I think Iowa had two defensive touchdowns, or one that set up. I went back and watched the condensed game today because I wasn't going to waste those 4 hours yesterday. I went back and watched it today, and all I saw was Iowa defensive players running with the ball. I was like, oh, This looks good. So, they got 6 returning starters in offense and defense. Their strength of schedule they've played thus far with Rutgers is 118th. So not only are they losing, but they're losing to bad teams, a bad team. 64% run versus pass, 36. I'm not going to name off their quarterback, running backs, or offensive linemen, receivers, or anybody because they're not worth mentioning.
Because why would you?
Find a depth chart if you're really interested in the starting tackle for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So yeah. Ooh, I gotta find the fucking spread. Is it out yet? Anybody got a spread? Hit me up in the chat.
ESPN's got 41.
Get the fuck out of here. 41? Oof. Okay.
Let me go to my sources. Let me check my sources here. Sports.
Call Vinny in the desert.
What do you think it is? You think 41's too stiff?
I think it's hot. That seems hot. No, I think we can win by 41. Sure. I don't think the spread seems high. That's a high number.
I got 40. I got 40 and a half on Bet Online. Over under is 60.
So 40 and a half and the over under 60. So like they're thinking a 40 to 20 game. I don't see that happening. No, that would no.
Which part?
A 40-point spread, 60-point over under.
Yeah. 19 and a half to 20 and a half. Or 40 and a half.
40 to 20. Okay. No. All right. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not your dad's. It's not your grandpa's Rutgers anymore. Shiano's got him fighting.
Really?
Shiano's in big trouble this week.
Your fucking grandpa's Rutgers. Your grandpa didn't even know Rutgers existed. We only know Rutgers exists because they're in the Big Ten.
All right. So I got Cassie Gray already dropping in a 63-7 final. I'm going to note. I'm going to write down these fucking scores that we're getting from our listeners because I want to make sure everybody is above board here. I got
make sure they're on the level.
That's right. So there's no accountability. Then what are we living in? Stephen Cherry's got a 56-0. I'm liking that.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
I love the goose. You got to have the goose egg. I don't give a fuck if it's in the 40s and you have a goose egg. That goose egg looks so good.
Oh,
so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
A 49-0 game is better than a 56-10 game. Any day, all day.
Yeah, we don't really have too many shutouts in our recent defensive past.
No, because you start playing start playing so many guys. We played the other game at Toledo. I think we played 14 or 18 freshmen or something like that. Like if you start putting so many people in the game just to give them experience, it's just gonna happen. But or your starting defense will just take his shit and give up a big play, pass it.
Right.
But it's so hard to shut people out, man. And at that level, so hard.
All right. Well, let's get into our finals here. Oh, we got a good question here from Tyrone Smith. This is a good question. Will this hurt Jackson Smith and Jigba's draft stock by not being able to play these games?
Yes.
Obviously being out basically 4 entire games.
Sure will.
No.
NFL, I mean, to an extent, like he's not going to be losing like what round he's projected in. He's not going to be dropping 30 picks or nothing. But if NFL scouts are watching these college games and they're showing up in Columbus to watch Notre Dame, Ohio State, and he's out after the first 3 minutes of the game. Well, they're going on to the next guy. They're looking at other people.
It's a little early to count him out. It all depends on how he comes back. This doesn't hurt him. He ended last year on too high a note. And as long as he comes back and balls out like he has, But I think, could it hurt him because Stroud's getting comfortable throwing the ball around to these other guys too. Where I think early on he only had maybe confidence in Njigba. But now, I mean, seems like he's loving Ibuka, he's loving Harrison, certainly loving Stover last week.
Why wouldn't you? They're all fucking open all the time.
No.
I mean, Sean, my only point was I wasn't saying that this is like a permanent mark on him, but just as of right now, yes, it's hurt it has affected his draft stock, I think, as of right now. Now, correct, Sean, if he comes back and looks to be 100% and plays, say, the last 7 games of the season, or 6 games of the season even, play at full speed and puts up what we all would expect him to put up, I don't think it would be affected at all. But this is in their minds right now. It's already in their minds. So he's going to have to come back and not just blend in, but he'll have to come back in and show.
Look where these wide receivers like J-Mo and some of these other wide receivers from Alabama and stuff are still getting drafted after knee surgeries and stuff in the first round.
Right. That's a good point. I think it depends on what he does late in the season.
That's what I mean.
Especially playoffs.
Page,
if he blows up in the playoffs, I think his stock goes up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree, Joe. I was just giving you I think what NFL scouts are looking at right now. Yeah, I think their opinion, or not their opinion, but maybe their evaluation has dropped a little. Not that they're writing him off. I didn't mean it to sound that way. But they're gonna wait and see. Like, can he come back from the injury? How can we'll wait. We'll come and watch another Ohio State game.
But they're still going to those games to watch Ibuka and Harrison. And all those other guys. So
exactly.
It's not like they're not showing up now.
Yeah, when I meant
he'll have his chance.
He goes out for an injury first 3 plays of the game. They're like, okay, well, let's just focus on the other guys because they look like pros too. So I didn't mean anything. I didn't mean anything by it. Just that I'm sure it is a negative effect right now. But yes, if he bounces back, Joe, and he fucking dominates, he fucking dominates Michigan, and we go in the Big Ten title game. He's plays balls out there, and in playoffs. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this hamstring issue. It's a hamstring issue. It's not even like an Achilles or something that they feel maybe. I don't know. Something
probably shouldn't have played against Toledo last week at all. Probably shouldn't have even suited up. And he doesn't have to suit up in the next 2 games, Rutgers and Michigan State. And then there's a bye week and then Iowa. He could take 3 more weeks off, hopefully be perfectly healthy for the stretch run of the last 6 games.
If
plus
that's
conference championship and playoffs.
Right. If that's what it would take, I am obviously everybody in Buckeye Nation should be 100% for it. If you don't need him and he really needs the time to get healthy, of course, everybody should be on the same page with that. Ryan Day has spoken pretty clearly. He's made himself pretty clear that he does not want Jackson back. He does not want to risk him back unless they feel he's 100%. That's the medical staff, talking with him and then telling Ryan Day, look, he says he thinks he's 100. We think he's 100. He's a go.
Yeah.
But
all right.
If it needs, if like you said, he came back last week. He didn't really play much. Like they got him out there maybe just to keep the rust from building up, because they didn't really try to put him in the offense last week. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't really like they weren't trying to like, all right, let's target Jason, let's get him back in rhythm, and let's work him on this drive. There was no drives like that. He was just out there, kind of getting back acclimated. They're not. I don't think they're trying to rush him. So,
all right.
But it's a hamstring. You never know when those are healthy.
All right. So let's do our score predictions here. Sean, let's go to you at this 40.5 spread. Buckeyes favored with an over/under 60. What do you have for me?
I got Buckeyes covering 59-14.
Okay. I like it. Jeff, what do you think?
I want to say 56-13.
56-13. Okay. So you guys think that the Scarlet Knights are going to get in the end zone, huh?
Oh, late they will.
Okay.
It's going to be they're going to get in there maybe once.
They're
On
not
some
going to
great
stop
play.
chopping wood. That
I'm-
fucking they're going to be chopping wood till fucking triple zeros.
I'm with Stephen Cherry here. I'm going shutout. I'm going 70-0. And
Oh, damn.
those last three touchdowns are all Kyle McCord style touchdowns, getting those backup receivers in the game. Red shirts be damned. Not just the Scarlet Knights red shirts, but red shirts on our players.
Well, you bring that up, Joe, real quick. There's the four games you're allowed to play, prior to declaring, red shirts. So are there some decisions to make this week with Ryan Day and the coaching staff as far as, like maybe a Sonny Styles,
No.
are there? I don't think there are either, because I think that the coaches are so confident in the plan that these kids have and what trajectory these kids are on. Sonny Styles is going to play three years at Ohio State. He's going to go to the NFL. Probably going to be a first-round pick. Like, he's like, you know what I mean? But are there those other guys that you want to kind of guard against? You're down, down Hayden's.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So there's some decisions to make with playing time. You can't play.
I don't think those decisions are that hard anymore. Now that you have 4 games to work with, and I don't think that's too difficult.
Well, I mean, we're getting past our 4th game. That's my
sure.
thought. Is now they at least has to be on their mind now.
Right.
We're getting into the 5th, 6th games.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it.
So let's get into our microscopes. I'm going on offense. I got Travion Henderson. I think he's going to have another big game. Maybe not 20 carries, but I think he's going to have 15 to 18, and those are going to be huge. I see him taking one like big time, 65-yard, and probably a couple touchdowns. Since Mayan got in the end zone a couple of times, I think Trey wants to taste it. So I'm going Trey on offense and Josh Proctor on defense. I think Proctor will be playing a lot because this team as well runs like a 60 to 65% percentage of run plays to pass, just like Wisconsin did. So I think Proctor is going to be in there a lot at that boundary safety. I think he's going to come up and run support a lot. And hey, who knows? Maybe he'll get a pick. Sean, who do you have on your microscopes, offense and defense?
Well, you screwed me on those picks. Those were my top 2, but luckily I wrote backups on here. So I'm gonna go with Cade Stover. I'm gonna ride this train. See if the Cade Stover touchdown train can continue here. I think it's got a good chance to, as long as he's healthy. He got I'm sure he had a lot of ice on him after that game. That guy was getting banged up and giving everything he wanted. Then Proctor was my guy back there. So I really want to see him succeed. But let me go with where'd my guy Hall go?
Who?
I'm seeing another breakout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He had a good game.
He definitely flashed. Like, I saw a couple times where you noticed 51 on the field, like, oh shit, look at that penetration or something,
Yeah.
Maybe I should take Sawyer, because on that one play, Sawyer looked like my gosh, he was lined up there. That must be that jack position. I think that's probably his only play of the game that he made, but that was scary looking.
Yeah.
It looked like he almost read that blocking, or like almost like a running back does, like a hole. Like he was like reading the play, and like he cut, and then he exploded through and drove the quarterback.
Who'd you have on offense, Sean?
Stover.
Okay. Good call. Jeff, go ahead, and I got a couple comments to read from the chat. Oh, we got a good question.
Well, all right, real quick. Last week, I put Trey Henderson in the focus group because I wanted to see him show me something. I wanted to see him finish a game. I was getting kind of frustrated with him, slowing down or breaking down during games. This
All
game, this week, I'm picking player of the game, offense, and Mecca Ibuka is probably going to go off,
Okay.
like substantially.
Yeah.
All right.
180. I'm
Yeah, he's
thinking
good for 100
180.
yards a game, pretty much.
I think he's going to be the standout go-to on offense. Defensively, I am going to go with Jack Sawyer. I want to see him get. It seems like he's getting more and more comfortable moving around, doing his thing. Let's see, a lot of running game with Shiano and them. They don't have the studs to even threaten us on the outside.
Right.
They know it. We know it. Jack Sawyer.
Got it. Okay. So Mecca and Jack. I got Trey and Proc. I got comment from Stephen Cherry. JTT will get 2 sacks. I like it.
I didn't know if
I
we were gonna. Can I get in on this? I didn't think we'd have time to talk about him. But where the fuck has he been? Is he on the field? Is he playing a lot?
Yeah,
I see that.
he's in there.
I seem to see his number a lot. I see 44 flashing across the screen just when the cameras change views, but I don't see him doing any type of anything.
He had 21
Pressure.
snaps this week.
21 snaps.
His defensive grades are not great on PFF. Like 66%, 68% run defense. His pass rush is 63%. He did have a hit and a hurry on the quarterback this week. So
he's the one I was referring to when I would just watch him for a whole series, and it was let me speed rush to the outside. Oh, the guy's shutting me down.
Yeah.
Let me go back the other way, and right now it's 3.5 seconds, and the quarterback's nowhere near. And I saw a lot of that. I want to see him make an impact. Like he had that big hit the first play of the game against Notre Dame, and it was a penalty. It was a great hit though. I don't fault the hit that he had on the quarterback. First play of the game, smacking.
Okay, we got to get to this question and this comment. So Cassie Gray coming in with microscopes, Tanner McAllister and Marvin Harrison Jr. And a shout out to Tanner for the pass breakup on the deep ball in the corner. Saved the touchdown.
No doubt.
Good call.
No doubt. He can't. I mean, that was some hooker type of coverage right there.
Yeah.
That
was a great play. That was huge. So this is a recruiting question, and I'm going to do a recruiting show this week on the Daily Blitz. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel. So Tyrone Smith, his question is, I saw Keon Keeley was back in Columbus for the game again. Do you think we might beat out Bama for him? What do you think, Jeff?
I think it looks good that he's been back twice before October, to campus.
Second time in 3 weeks. He was here for the Notre Dame game.
That's what I mean. It's the same thing. We have an advantage over Bama with a guy like that. I don't know. I don't know if there's any advantage there. I'm sure he made it back. That's a big sign. That's a really good sign that he's back a second time. Now I don't know which one was his official visit versus unofficial, but it looks good. But you can never say you have an advantage over Bama with a guy. I
don't know. I mean, you know what? If not, there's nothing else you can do because that kid just went to 2 big time college football games, big time, with the whole vibe of Ohio Stadium. And if they're not coming here after going to those 2, then you never had a chance.
Exactly. So I 100% agree.
I think being from Florida makes a difference too. I think that factors in. He's from right here in Tampa. So he's from Berkeley Prep, though, where NPF went to school, where Greg Schiano coached, and his kids went to school. So I'm not sure that gives us an in or any kind of angle. I think it actually hurts us that he's from the South. And I would be shocked. I think right now it's a 50-50. deal. I think Alabama does have the last official visit.
As they always plan it. They always plan that.
So, yeah. But he can always come back on his own dime.
Sure.
Like after the season's over. Maybe he can come back up for the Michigan game in November, get a taste of that, and then, make a decision in December for the early signing period.
Yeah. Where would you rather go this year, to the Ohio State Michigan game or Alabama Auburn?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I'd like to see the spread. I'd love to see what the spread is right now in that game. It's got to be 20 at least.
Yeah.
Right. But you're right. I mean, obviously, he's been back here twice, so he didn't take 2 official visits here. Because he's saving one for Alabama. So he was here on his own dime once already, which is a good sign, I think. If you come back, if you're here twice already in that shorter period,
Right.
from especially traveling that far a distance, he's coming from Tampa up to Columbus.
Yeah, but with
twice
NIL,
in a month.
can't we just get some of that early NIL money? Pay for that?
You're not supposed to. That's frowned upon. Depends on
Sean, exactly.
where you're getting.
How are
from.
we? I'm sure there's all kinds of shit that's being handled there, but you can never say you have an advantage over Bama. I don't think.
Yeah.
You have a coin flip chance with Bama.
Let me get your guys' quick take on a few games. Do we need to cover anything from this past week? Maryland at Michigan.
How about Eddie George fucking getting them fucking Hurricanes? Love to see that.
Yeah. Minnesota at Michigan State. Sparty is. Go ahead.
Sparty is not good, and I actually think Minnesota is kind of for real.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit of both there.
I think Minnesota's a top 10 team. They just broke into the top 25 this week.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive, Sean.
We'll see. They're going to run. They're going to run through that side.
Yeah,
they're going to run through the West.
You're right. I think they will.
They got a veteran quarterback that.
Mm-hmm.
These guys
he's been there like 10 years, man.
Healthy.
Right.
If that Abraham stays healthy and that O-line's decent, and right now
they lost that receiver though.
I like them. That's good. That we're going to play them.
All right. How about week 5? You guys looking forward to these games? These are the only games that stood out to me because these teams are ranked. Purdue is going to Minnesota. That should be an easy game for many. Michigan going to Iowa. We know what could happen in the corn.
Yes.
Oklahoma going to TCU. TCU just coming off a big win over SMU. Bama going to Arkansas. That's going to be a ball game.
That's the game.
That could be a ball game.
That's a 2 versus 10.
Go Hogs.
NC State going to Clemson. Clemson just eked out a win at Wake Forest in overtime. Any of these jump out at you?
The Clemson North Carolina State game. A lot of hype for North Carolina State. They had 17 or 22 returning starters or something like that. It's like the best team that NC State's had in decades. That's what they're touting that game, preseason wise. So they said this would be the game that Clemson could fall. Yeah. But I don't know. Clemson's defense is I think their defense is national title defense. Now their offense far from it.
Not after last week, dude. Wake Forest went up and down the field on them.
I know that, but Wake Forest. Sam Hartman's a good quarterback. He's Wake Forest. They scored points on everybody last year. But they have no defense. They're not a well-rounded team, but they can score.
45 points they put on Clemson's defense.
True. After this week, we'll know for sure about Clemson, especially how they respond from a bad performance on defense, like you're saying. And I don't know. I can't imagine ever favoring NC State over a Clemson, but if this would be the game, if Clemson trips up, this might be the best chance at Clemson falling. Notre Dame's not going to give them any resistance later in the year, so
I'm taking
might be the best shot.
I'm taking Iowa to cover. This is a 10-point spread. Seriously.
I might. Yeah, that sounds right.
Michigan's
What's the
getting
over-under
10
on that?
42.5. I'm taking Iowa to cover that 10. That defense, JJ is going to put it on the ground a couple times like he did last week against garbage Maryland defense.
Maybe like a 30.
That's going to be a ball
30,
game.
Like a 32-13 game, maybe.
I don't even know if it gets that high. You know how
24-13. Maybe.
Hardball likes to turtle up when it's a fucking tight game.
Well, I've seen Michigan turtle up in Iowa City a lot. That's tricky. They don't have a good record over there.
I don't know. I think Iowa's going to get blown out. I think just their offense is just so horrendous. It's not going to do anything. It never does anything.
Yeah. Tyrone Smith has a good comment here. Georgia didn't look very good against Kent State either. That was a 10-point game at one point.
Yeah, but that was, it's like they were sleepwalking. It's like we've had those games too, where it's like, all right, they just keep hanging around. We know they're not going to beat us, but we can't fucking.
But it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good on your resume.
But still, Georgia's defending champs. They've built up so much goodwill, though. It's not going to change any of the vote. Obviously, the AP voting didn't change any. Coaches poll won't be affected by that because coaches especially know. Yeah, sometimes a fucking team is playing out of their minds, and it takes you 3 quarters to kind of wake up. But Georgia was never in doubt, or they were never stressed, in that game as far as pushing, losing the lead or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes those fucking lower schools they stick around for a while. It's happened to us. It's happened to Bama. It won't affect anything. Just by Kent State, just by scoring some points. The first 3 in the country is the first 3 in the country. That's not going to change.
Suspect. Georgia's suspect. Kent State.
Stop, Sean. Stop. Georgia's suspect. Come on. You can't look at Kent State or you can't look at that one game and be like, yeah, people can get Georgia. Well, people can get Georgia as much as we knew what Georgia was. Nothing changed as far as Georgia's potential from that game. Nothing changed for me anyways. Georgia's still a fucking problem.
Who's Georgia playing this week?
Oh.
Do they have Tennessee? Is Tennessee back-to-back Florida, Georgia? Is that right? Let me check.
I got it here.
Because Tennessee is a club that will
Missouri.
They're going to
Missouri, yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Missouri.
All right, never mind. That's Rutgers. That's the SEC Rutgers. Yeah. But you saw the Tennessee Florida game. Tennessee will put stress on Bama and Georgia.
Sure, right.
They might get one of them. They might even get one in Kentucky. The Kentucky-Tennessee game, for the first time in fucking history of this country, might be a good game to watch this year. Yeah. I don't know when exactly those two play, but I know Bama and Georgia both got Tennessee looking ahead. They can. That's going to be the best test we'll see as far as Bama. That's the best game they have left.
Y'all sleeping on Ole Miss.
Whatever.
Yeah. You never see Ole Miss play defense. I've never seen Ole Miss play defense in my life.
Right. I agree.
Tennessee's going to be a problem though. Tennessee will challenge those top teams, I think.
Yeah. Well, as long as they stay healthy and Hooker keeps playing the way he does and everything, I agree.
Well, their top receiver was out against Florida.
Yeah.
Kentucky 7th is a farce, though. Come on.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, the SEC is going to beat them up. They're going to get 2 or 3 losses or something, But I think the East actually this year, SEC East might be stronger than the West.
Yeah.
This year, for the first time in a long, long time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's wrap her up. as always, folks, we appreciate everybody listening. Thank you for all the awesome comments and questions. It really helps the show and gives us some good topics that sometimes we don't even think about, or we just like to hear what you guys have on your minds. So much appreciated to everybody that watched and listened, and we will see you next week, same time, 8 p.m. Sunday. Lock it in here. And during the week, please check out the Daily Buckeye Blitz. And we'll be doing a recruiting show this week. It's just a 5-minute podcast, 5-minute video. So you can, rack them up and watch a bunch in a row if you want or whatever. But thank you, everybody. And we will talk to you next week. Jeff and Sean, appreciate you.
Later, bro.
Yeah, please.